right, everybody. Welcome to Who's Your Band. I am Jeffrey Paul. I am bringing in our co-host because he wasn't here last week. Let's give it
Mm,
up for Sean Morton. How are you, Sean?
yeah, I was good until about 30 seconds ago. Why don't you tell them why, Jeff?
Because today's topic, first of all, uh, we'll talk about the topic in a second.
Uh-huh.
I just want to say, shout out to Sean Morton. He headlined Laughing Stock Comedy Club this past weekend,
Yes,
and
it's a beautiful club. I will give you a lot of credit for that. It is an amazing room. The crowds are fantastic. Uh, Everything is top notch over there. So if you live in that area, you got to get out. It's 15 minutes from Hershey. It's amazing. It's a beautiful hotel. And I was lucky enough that Jeff was not there that night.
right. We wanted a good show. Sean absolutely brought us a good show. Everyone enjoyed it. I heard good things. Michael Steckler, who goes to a bunch of shows, really had positive things to say. So I'm thank you, Sean, for headlining our club,
You're
man. I
welcome.
heard you did a great job. All right, so let's get into this. We are bringing back a guest. This is the first. Our guest is he's a comic. He's a musician. Um, he is a podcaster. We had a show for a couple of years together. Give it up for Anthony Kapfer, everybody. There he is.
Hello.
I
I'm
miss
back.
Anthony.
I know. I miss you
It's been a
too.
couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months even since I've seen you.
We have not argued about music in a while.
Well, we're going to today.
Yeah, why don't you tell them the topic, Jeff? And why don't you
Yeah,
and then why don't you tell them the topic, and then I'm going to explain to them why I want to punch your face right now. Continue. Go ahead.
but listen, I was
Ooh.
very clear. Okay. Uh
Oh, go
I
ahead.
was
Go
I was
ahead.
very clear, just like the Biden administration. Okay.
Yeah.
I was very clear. Today's topic is we are counting down the top 10 songs of the 2000s.
No, wrong. You told me it was the top 10 songs of the last 20 years. So what
That's
is
what
it
I
this
got
year?
too.
Yeah, you have it too. Thank
Yeah.
you, Anthony. I really appreciate that. When I'm out in LA in a few months, taking you out to dinner. Anyway,
Yeah,
now
it's that
the
easy.
last 20 years
Nice.
means 2003 to 2023. Now, let me explain something to you. Between 2000 and 2002 was a lot of great music that I could have put on my list. But no, Captain fucking ADD has to believe what he believes in his head instead of what he texted me and Anthony.
And yeah, look, listen, 20 years, you add a year or
Listen.
two here. I'm putting my
Give or
list together,
take.
and I gotta say, I don't think this has been a great millennium so far
This
from
would have changed my entire list.
2 years.
Yes, because this is what I want to talk about. I would have. No, we're not going to jump ahead, but I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I only have 1 to 2 rock songs on my list because pop became gigantic in 2003, but there was a ginormous rock era between
Oh yeah.
99 and 2002.
99 don't count. 99
2000,
don't count.
2001, 2000.
2000 to
You
2002
had
had
the
amazing rock.
Strokes, the Hives, the Vines, the White Stripes. They all put out pretty great music.
Well,
And then if you go on the other end, you have
hmm.
Nickelback and Godsmack and Linkin Park and Disturbed and
You
Breaking
still could have.
Benjamin.
Nickelback still put out music
The one
in the
I
last 20
wanted was
years.
2001.
What? This is what you remind me? That song? Was that the song?
That would have been in my top 10 without
Oof.
question.
Really? Of the last, even with those rules, I consider it as like, no, there are better songs. So you know what? Let's get right into it.
Please, let's do that.
And I'll start it off. And here's a good rock song, okay, in the last 20 years, Sean and Anthony, okay? A little band that maybe Anthony may be a fan of, okay? A little band that Anthony kind of like looks like every member in, okay? The Foo Fighters, and the song I picked for my number 10 song is The Pretender, okay?
Oh,
2007 is it was a top there. I think it's maybe when they're only it was a top 40 hit, went to number 37. When they wrote the song, when Dave Grohl wrote it, that song, believe it or not, started as a slow jam. And then after listening to a little bit of Chuck Berry, Grohl was like, you know something? This has a kind of like that Chuck Berry stomp to it, and I really need to kind of put that in there. It was one of the last songs he wrote for the album, And for me, I am not the biggest Foo Fighters fan in the world, but I think in the last 20 years, you have to include a Foo Fighters song. And this to me was like one of their best songs.
Well, since I know actually about the Foo Fighters and I'm a huge fan of them, my number 10 was also a Foo Fighters song because it's my only rock song on the thing because there wasn't a lot of good rock music out between 2003 and 2023, but there was a ton in 2002 and 2022.
So all your list would have been like from the first 2 years.
God, no, but I would have had
list?
3 or 4 different songs. Anyway, my number 10, the better song of the two, because Pretender is not a great song. Best of You by the Foo Fighters.
Ooh, okay.
The best.
I mean,
what do you think?
I like all the stuff they did up until It's funny because I also
be careful, Anthony.
I love the Foo Fighters,
Okay,
but I don't think they've put out a good album in at least 10 years, and I'm being generous.
Well, but this is early on. This is more than 10 years ago.
Wasting Light is their best record. By the way.
The newest one.
What do you think about the drummer in this Foo Fighters?
Taylor Hawkins?
No, the new drummer.
No, I'm not talking about that. We had a co-host on another show who thought the drummer in the Foo Fighters sucked.
Oh, he's one of the most accomplished drummers on the planet, but yeah, he sucks.
No matter who you're talking about, great drummer. Dave Grohl played drums in the Foo Fighters, great drummer. Taylor Hawkins played drums, great drummer.
Who was that? Is that Dustin
Freeze?
that was bitching him out?
Yeah.
Was it Dustin?
He didn't
If
like
going out
Grohl.
to LA, I'll fuck him up too. I have no problem with that either. I'm in a mood now tonight because
the only drummer that was kind of mediocre in the Foo Fighters was William Goldsmith. He didn't play on any full albums.
He toured the first record. That was it.
Toured the first album. I mean, great drummer, but not on not at the same caliber as Dave Grohl, Taylor Hawkins, or Josh Freese.
So who was your number 10, Anthony?
Well, I also had The Pretender on my list. I wasn't sure where to put it, so I'll put it at number 10 just to make it kind of neat.
Nice.
Dinner revoked. Dinner revoked.
I knew it would happen. I knew it would get revoked.
Because me and Anthony never agree.
We almost never agree.
First one.
I think that this was their last great single. I think it's one of their best songs. I was considering putting this at the top at the number 1 slot, but I can't. It's not
number 1.
Oh. But it's a great song. That album was, for me, that was the first time it started getting hard to listen to their album all the way through.
I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought that I could get through it. I didn't have to skip songs, but there were songs I didn't love as much as their previous albums. And after that album, I can't listen to any of them all the way through.
Wasting Light is an amazing record. You got to give that one another chance because it has their best song they ever wrote on there.
Which one is that?
Walk.
Okay. I'll give it another chance. I remember when I first heard it, it sounded to me like everybody had input. It was like too much. It was like 5 guys all being like, "Hey, I got a riff. Hey, I got a riff. I got." Yeah, and it was just like all mashed together, like 5 guys' ideas. But
that's why you like the first record.
The first one is one of the best, and the
Grohl.
color and the shape too. Yeah, the first 3 really, it's mostly Dave Grohl, and I think that it makes it kind of more cohesive and just easier to listen to for me.
I'm going to listen to their last record a lot more very soon because it's really written about how Taylor died and, being involved with somebody creatively for a long time after they tragically die, which is going to happen to Jeff when I see him the next time. But that's why I'm going to play that album, in memoriam. Continue, Jeffrey.
No, we're going to go with Anthony. Let him do.
Oh, that's right, Anthony.
9.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So his number 10 was the same as mine. We both went with the Pretender, Sean. So we all went with a Foo Fighters. So we all kind of agreed that the Foo Fighters should be represented in this list.
Yeah.
In the last 20.
Now, does anybody have a duplicate of a person on their list? Or does everybody?
No, that's a great question. I intentionally did not do that.
I didn't
know we could, so I didn't. It's more fun not to.
It's okay.
It's like when you make a mixtape. You try to.
Yeah,
try not to repeat.
Right, you don't put 2 songs by the same artist on a mixtape. Absolutely not. Everyone, that's a rookie mistake. Get it, Anthony. Number 9.
Okay, number 9. I'm going with probably my favorite song and album of the year. I'm going the Hives' new album, and in particular the single "Bogus Operandi." It's the lead single off of the new Hives album. You're making faces like you either don't know what I'm talking about or you hated it.
I'm just thinking of in the last 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That is what you came up with. Now
Yeah, well, that came out
that's the Anthony I know and love.
this this came out this year. I think it's the best album of this year. The album is called "The Death of Randy Fitzsimmons." It's the first Hives album in about 11 years, and I think it's great start to finish. And I think this is, I believe it's the opening track, and it's the lead single, and it's like the perfect representation of the album and the Hives in general. The lead singer of the Hives said that he says rock and roll can't grow up, and that's sort of the mantra of the new album is to kind of more of the same of what you like. AC/DC, this Hives album is like AC/DC.
where everything is the even same. On the album that they put out during the pandemic. That was such classic AC. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is just the same. Same thing with Maiden. Maiden, there's no ballads. Kiss. Everything is just heavy. Everything is like kind of like a gallop. That is Maiden. All right, Sean, what's your number 9?
Well, I wanted to bring her on this list because I think that she's probably one of the most important artists of the last 20 years. So I went with "Bad Romance" by Lady Gaga.
And that's not a bad choice.
Wasn't her first single. It's off the second record, but this is the song that really that broke her. That really broke her and that put her to the next level. She's going to go down as one of the most important artists of our generation, without question. I mean, I don't know how much more music she's going to be putting out as far as, acting and things like that, but everything she touches is phenomenal. And they actually just released a new song Friday from the new Stones record. And she sings on it too as well. And Stevie Wonder plays piano on it. And thank you to Ken Krantz for reminding me about that. But great song. But I believe that she had to be on my list in some form. And I think that's probably the most relatable song that everybody knows by her.
I'm glad you put a song by her because I caught some shit today. I was at a party before I came over and I was putting my list together there. And this led to like such a big debate in the party. This is a great topic, and everyone kept telling me you got to put a Lady Gaga song in there, and I was like, she's great, I know, but I just felt there were other songs. It's the top 10 list. That's what makes this so hard to do is to edit this down. And if I was going to pick a song, that probably would have been it. But that's a great song. 9. I don't know if you guys are going to kind of go with this with me, but hear me out on this. And here's my reason for picking "Somebody Told Me" by the Killers, 2004.
A great song.
Okay.
Yeah, it never made the top 40. In fact, it came in at 51. But it's one of those songs that everybody knows, that everybody sings along with when it comes on, with especially the chorus. And I think, it was huge on Rock Band. Remember that game, the Wii game, Rock Band? I remember my son and his friends used to play it all the time. And that song introduced a whole new young generation to rock music. And that's why I think like now when like my son is 22, but at the time when he was like maybe 10, him and his friends now are into this music because of that game. And I think this was one of the songs that did that. So for me, I think one of the important songs of the 2000s was the 2004 "Somebody Told Me" by the Killers.
I'm sort of kind of agreeing with you because I had 15 songs. I cut 5 off, and one of them was "Mr. Brightside" by the Killers.
That was a song at the party that someone said, "Hey, you should put the Killers on there." Put "Mr. Brightside," and I was like, "This was my reasoning for this." But also,
I hate to agree, but I accept your decision.
Thank you. Okay, because of that, Sean, you can do number 8.
One of my favorite musicians. I've seen him a bunch of times. I just saw him this summer. Jeff knows exactly what I'm going to be saying.
I know because I got shit for leaving him off.
Okay. I went and I agreed. This guy, again, is probably one of the best songwriters of the last 20 years. I'm going to do that emphatically every time now.
That's not going to get annoying.
It's okay, because your face hasn't been for the last 3.5 years. Anyway, I'm going with "Shape of You" by Ed Sheeran.
Great song. I love that song.
Okay.
I could, and the thing about him, you really could have picked any of like 7 or 8 songs, but I wanted to just put the. That's the thing too. The artists that I picked, I really picked that were the most pivotal artists, and I tried to pick one of their best songs from that era. So they may not even be my personal favorites, but I think they have to get recognition for them. "Shape of You" is not my favorite Ed Sheeran song by far, but it is a popular hit. I think it had something close to like 2 billion streams, which is absolutely insane when you think about it.
I think when you put these lists together and you take into consideration the criteria that in 20 years from now, when someone else is doing this, okay, and they're doing songs that of the 2000s that are iconic. Like if we talked about songs in the last 40 years, and we start talking about songs like "Stairway to Heaven," which is probably even older than that, and "Freebird" and Bob O'Reilly. What songs are people going to sing? They're going to remember, that are really going to stand out. Why they're going to fade away? Not songs that necessarily are always the most popular. Like a song like what was that Bobby McPherson song? Don't worry, be happy. Like people in. Now they're going to listen to that and say, what the fuck were people listening to? What was that shit? Okay.
That's a great song, though.
It's not a great song.
It's not. Come on.
It's a dopey song. But a song like "Shape of You," I can see that song will always be around. I can see that song being like a Jackson 5 song that people will break out at a party, they don't like it. And even that song stripped down as an acoustic is such a great song.
Yep. 100%.
I agree. What's your number 8, Ant?
I'm going with one of your favorites, Jeff. I know you love this band. I'm going with Wet Leg, Shay's Lounge.
No way. No way.
This is the thing. I can't even tell my producer to kick him off the podcast because that fucking dope likes that band too.
That was a great pick.
Now
you're talking about
speaking finally. Great.
This is what I had to deal with on Wednesday nights.
I would have a stroke.
The two of these guys listening to this shit.
They won a Grammy for best alternative music.
What song, Anthony? I'm sorry.
Shay's Lounge. Shay's Lounge.
I'm gonna break this computer. If I was there, I would throw coffee at you.
God, why do I have to agree with Jeff? Why do I have to agree with Jeff?
It's a great song.
Oh God, it's not. It's garbage. It's fucking garbage. All right, here's the thing. Here's what
I haven't gotten this upset on the show since Chrissy Mayer told us about her list of songs.
What was on her list?
Some band that we've never even heard of and no one's ever heard of.
Unbelievable.
It was.
I got a few of those.
The whole show was about ripping her apart and how bad her musical taste was.
Just I don't even want the explanation.
No, I want to hear his explanation. I'm sweating now.
I like this kid too.
The explanation. I don't. I don't listen to a ton of current music. Really, I'm not that interested in seeking it out. And this
there were 20 other years to choose from.
No, I know, but I'm saying when this song came out, this was it went viral in 2021, and this was
so did COVID.
Yeah, we all got that. Just keep getting it over and over.
Why couldn't everybody in Wet Leg get COVID and then die of COVID? That would be the only way I would listen to Wet Leg ever again.
It was just one of those new songs that made me pay attention, and I was into it, and I liked the whole album. I think that this was released as a single before their album, even before they had any. This was all they had for a time, and
I think I know what it is, Jeff.
No, I think this is the moment in life where I feel like the world has passed me by.
No, you're very close. We are officially old.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
So am I still holding on? You're saying I'm not old yet?
No, we don't have Anthony's youth. We don't have his youth and his charisma.
Fucking Adam's dementia.
Yes, and his current hairdo and lack of gray.
Plenty of gray.
Yeah, see, I went with the 2006 Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance.
Okay.
I think this song is this millennium's Bohemian Rhapsody because of
Whoa.
because of the
Wow.
well, think about it, the multiple song changes and arrangements
Yeah.
in the song. I don't know if you ever saw the video of it. The video of this song is absolutely amazing. It's stunning visually. And the video changes as much as the song changes. And
Is it the
like
one where
how,
they're in a church at one
well, no, it
point? It's like
starts
a
off where
funeral or something?
someone's dying in a bed. And, and I
Oh.
mean, it goes along with the
Hmm.
theme of the song.
Okay.
And someday you'll be the leader of the Black Parade, and then it busts out into this whole big parade, and they're wearing the iconic skeleton costumes. And here's something about it. When looking into the song, the band is from New Jersey, which I knew, but I didn't know that this song was inspired by Sinatra's "My Way."
Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay, I guess I could kind of hear it now that I.
Well, not I think more of the theme about, because "My Way" was Paul Anka's gift to Sinatra about like leaving on your own terms, and this is leaving the world on your own terms.
All right. I was never a fan of this band.
No, you didn't
Uh,
like Helena?
no, I didn't like anything that they did, but I do agree that it probably is the comparable. If there was this generation's comparable Bohemian Rhapsody, that's pretty close.
Can I
Even
just
though
throw
I
two
hate.
cents in that this was my number 7 pick?
Oh,
Really?
are
Well,
we up to 7?
yeah.
That's my 7. Yes,
Tell
because
us a little bit about. Tell us why you picked this as 7 then.
there's history with me and My Chemical Romance because they are a New Jersey band, and before their album came out, they used to play the same local scene that my band played in, and for 4 times My Chemical Romance opened for me. And then shoot,
Wow.
20 years later, I had to buy tickets for their 20th reunion show at Prudential Center. Right. So my band career went really fucking great. But no, let me tell you, that was a game-changing record. And that's another record. I think I have 12 records that I say are perfect from top to bottom. And the Black Parade is definitely one of those records.
It's a great album. It's a great song. And again, I think this is a game changer in the 2000s.
Yep.
So that's your 7. I'm going to go with my 7, and I'm going to change things up here a little bit. I'm going to go all the way back to 2001. And it's not but it's not a rock song. Okay. I thought Mary J. Blige "Family Affair" I chose because it's different. I think this song really breaks out Mary J. Blige. It's her only number 1 song. And it stayed for 6 weeks straight, entering 2001. She looks amazing in the video. And it has that grinding beat to it. It's that bum 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 bum.
Does Mary J. Blige give you the impression that if you were having sex with her, she would get on top of you and smack the shit out of you?
1,000%. Like I better do the work. I better put some work in, and I better not let her down because she will fuck me up.
Okay.
But her vocal in the song,
I dig her a lot.
She's a great vocalist. I think a very underrated vocalist. When people talk about great R&B singers, there's another song that I could have picked maybe a year later, which would have been "No More Drama," which I think is also a great song. But on this song, another 2000s icon gets a writing credit is Dr. Dre, because he came up with the bridge for the song, which she was trying to figure out when writing it, and then she kind of really helped out here. So
great producer.
Yeah, my number 7. Yeah, I really like this song a lot. I'm a big fan of Mary J. Blige. Anthony, number 7. Yeah, you see, you learn a lot when you watch this show.
Yeah, I who knew? You never talked about it on the other show. Let's see. Okay, so since we're mixing things up a little bit, I'll go. This is a little different than the rest of my list. I'm going with the Beastie Boys. Check It Out from 2004.
That was 2000s?
Yeah, this is 2004. That was the To the Five Boroughs album, which was
such a great record.
2004. So that was the first album they put out after 9/11 happened, and I guess this was sort of a they said it was a love letter to New York City,
Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and Staten, from the Battery to the top of Manhattan. Yep.
And then they,
I can rap. I'm white.
Yeah,
you're good.
think it got a Grammy. Best rap performance. Oh,
Is
they
this
got
like your whole
nominated,
criteria
2005.
for your list that they want a Grammy?
No, I was just trying to grab little tidbits that I could drop.
He's showing points of interest in.
You know,
Anthony gets it. He's a
just
pro.
to debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. And this was the third album in a row that the Beastie Boys had that debuted at #1.
I think the Beastie Boys in the next 10 years are going to probably go down as one of the most influential bands of all time. And people don't give them as much credit as they should be getting.
Amazing.
Are they top 10?
Of all time?
Yeah.
No.
Are they top 20?
Possibly, yeah. Possibly
top 20
bands of all
groups?
time?
No,
bands
influential bands. Would you say
Just
bands?
Yeah, I would go with
top 20. I would say they're at least in the conversation.
Right.
You know, like it's not ridiculous to bring them up if you're talking top 20 most influential bands.
Well, let me ask you something. Who did they influence?
Who did they?
Like who?
Probably
Like when
Eminem.
you know a lot of modern music. You already showed that. Okay. I don't know if you did a good job of a Pick and Chase Lounge. Okay, but
this is my own personal. I'm not making a definitive. This is my personal picks.
But who's around today? That both of you guys listen to a lot of modern music. Who do you hear the Beastie Boys in?
Modern music?
Yeah, because we throw around the word influential. Like I think Aerosmith is a top 10 influential band. And when
the Beatles are influential too, but they're so
the Beatles are the most
no, but hold on.
band.
The bands that listen to you say Elton John is a influential artist, right? Would you understand why Axl Rose says that Elton John is his biggest influence of all time?
Absolutely.
You listen to Welcome to the Jungle or
doesn't have to. It doesn't necessarily.
Right. So it's not about one particular song or album.
Well, how about this?
It could be about like a vibe or the way they write or the way they produced.
I would say Beck was influenced by the Beastie Boys.
That's
that's all I'm asking.
Yeah,
there you go.
I think that he got the Dust Brothers to produce Odelay because they produced Paul's Boutique, and it's a very similar kind of style.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's a great example, Anthony. Well done, sir. And because of it, you get to give us your number 6.
All right, my number 6. Let's see. What do I have in number 6? I'm going with the Breeders. They put out a song in 2018 called "Wait in the Car" off of their album All Nerve, which was the first new music they had released since 2009. So I was very excited when I heard the song. And the album.
Can you Google symptoms for eye stroke?
I can't believe like this started off with so much promise.
Oh my
Anthony
God.
and I, right off the beginning, we got we're a lock stop.
The Foo Fighter connection.
Maybe I haven't seen Anthony in a little bit. Maybe things have changed. No, Anthony comes back hardcore. He comes back hardcore. He comes not only an old Breeders song. He wouldn't do that. He'll do something new by the Breeders because you know how much the kids are talking about the Breeders these days.
Yeah, 5 people know who Kim Deal is, by the way.
No Grammy nominations on that one.
Shocker.
I think it's great though. I feel like it's like an underrated album because it came and went, and there was little fanfare, but I thought it was there's the thing that I have found in the last maybe 10 years is that all the bands that I grew up listening to, when they put out new music, I get excited and then I hear it and it sucks.
Yeah.
Or it's like mediocre at best. And when this album came out, I thought that it was as good as some of the stuff that I grew up on.
I have to agree with you with that because I'm a gigantic Guns N' Roses fanatic, right? And they just put out 3 singles over the last year. Now, somebody who, everybody in the world thought you're never going to hear Guns N' Roses music ever again, right? There's 3 singles. I have Apple Music, which is $10 a month, which means I can download anything I want for that $10 a month. I did not download those 3 songs because they are the biggest pieces of trash I've ever heard in my life. So I understand what you're saying with that.
Yeah.
I think he's 100. I think Anthony, you're 100% right with that assessment. I think songwriting in the last 20 some odd years has easily gone down. When you look at any top 10 list, okay, go any week, the top 40 songs of that week, okay. Look at the depth of the 80s and the 70s and what comes out, and then compare it to today. There is no comparison, in the songwriting.
Well, and because I think part of it might be that artists don't really get a chance to develop. They go viral or whatever, they have a hit and then they capitalize on it, and then it's like kind of disposable. Give us another hit or you're out, and then they don't get another. People just disappear.
I don't think today's music has and this is something we've talked about before, has the listenability or the re-listenability that older songs, and that's the thing I'm trying to get at with this with what we're doing here today. So my number 6, which I think is a very re-listenable song, I actually was listening to it today. 2005's I write Sins Not Tragedies by Panic at the Disco. It's it's the second single they ever put out. It charts high. It goes up to number 7. It's their only top 10 hit until High Hopes came out in 2015. And do you remember the controversy with this song? When it came out and it came out on radio, there was the line "closing the goddamn door," and then radio would bleep out "goddamn." And today that wouldn't even be a consideration. And then the other controversy with the song was there was instead of saying whore in the lyric, the lyric went to shh in the lyric.
I hate that.
For the clean edit?
Yes, in the radio edit. And today
you'll have a Target.
Yeah, exactly. But you'll have a song like Hot Wet Pussy, okay? Right, or Wet Hot Pussy. Is that the song, Anthony?
Wet Ass Pussy.
Wet ass pussy. Okay, right. Which is going to have 17 writers on it, and there's no problem playing that on radio.
When you have a chance, I know you've probably seen it already, but I want the listeners to hear it too. Speaking of Wet Ass Pussy, Tom Cotter, who's a brilliant comic.
Oh, I saw that bit.
One of the greatest bits I've seen in the last 20 years. Not 23, Jeffrey, but in the last 20 years, where he compares the lyrics between Baby It's Cold Outside, which got canceled, and Wet Ass Pussy. It's fucking brilliant.
But you know what? Even if you don't like the song, if we're talking about songs of the last 20 years that stand out,
defend it, and I'm going to jump through this fucking computer.
That song was huge.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
people are gonna remember that song 10, 20 years.
I guarantee they won't. They'll remember because of just because
the title
of just how vulgar it is,
right?
But I don't think honestly, Anthony, all kidding aside, do you think it's a good song?
I mean, I'm not the target demographic. I'm just saying that it's a song that came out in the beginning of the pandemic and was like a club anthem when people couldn't leave their house. This was a club song.
So when that generation grows up, they're not going to realize this is an idiotic song.
I don't think that it is idiotic to this generation. I think that I think it speaks to the generation.
And that's a sad commentary on the generation because our generation is going to be talking about Kashmir, okay, which is an influential song in its own right. But I bet you no one is going to be picking. You're going to be at a wedding and everyone's going to be talking about Wet Hot Pussy.
Maybe. I think that it's not doing anything different than a lot of other songs written by men. It's the flip side. It's women.
If a guy wrote that song,
it's sophomoric, though, don't you think?
Well, if a guy.
One. I think you're absolutely wrong on
How many classic rock songs are about penises?
My Dingaling by Chuck Berry, written 60 years ago. One song, Anthony. That's
every
it.
AC/DC
By the way,
song, every Led Zeppelin.
Only top
Squeeze
10
my
songs.
What's that? Squeeze my lemon till the juice runs down my leg. The Led Zeppelin, right? What song is that? Lemon song, whatever that is.
Do you think they were they referring to the penis?
Squeeze
I'm not
my
sure.
lemon. Every Van Halen song.
You know,
We're
see,
running a little bit hot
I
tonight.
yeah, I think that's see. I think we
Can't see the
if you're-
road with the steam coming out from between my legs. Come on, it's
it's Panama. He's talking about a car.
Come
It's a
on.
car. The song's
It's a
about a
rusted
car.
car that has a
There's
hole in the
so many-
floorboard.
It's about a car. Everybody
There's
knows
so
that.
many
In fact,
examples of this being
they're
done.
using they're using Eddie Van Halen's Lamborghini in that song. With that they parked it outside the studio.
Euphemism.
Look it up.
It's a euphemism.
No,
It's
All right.
done so much with men, and it's just women doing the same thing. And I think that's part of why this generation has just gravitated towards it.
what's your number 6, Sean?
You mentioned
Is it
something
Hot
about
Pussy?
you mentioned something about a wedding, right? Is it going to be being played at a wedding? So somebody just say that.
I did.
Okay, so
Why
this is
wouldn't
this is the
It's a
wedding
party
song. This is the wedding song. Now, I'm not saying I like this song, but when I heard it, first time I heard it, I'm like, I'm going to be hearing this song for a long fucking time. And I went with Happy by Pharrell Williams.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love that
forgot about
song.
that. I love that
You
song too. I
can't
forgot
be
about it.
like, you can't be
great
you
song.
can't be a living person and not like bop your head at least once to this song.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's one of those songs that's going to be around for
100%.
at a wedding the rest of your life.
When they
I
saw-
haven't
when-
heard
when
it
you-
in like 8 years though.
when WCBS FM is playing classic hits, that will be a song that's a classic hit.
I have to agree with that. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's not. I don't think it's the greatest song, but it has to be on this list.
It's a
on
fun
my
song.
end.
It is
That's
a
the
fun song. We're gonna make Anthony continue to wait, and he needs a timeout. Okay, and he needs to start reevaluating. Okay, everything. So Sean, give us your number 5.
Something you'd never thought that I would pick, but I think it came out at a very dark time, and it's an anthem. And I think that's really hard to find anthems now. I went with Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z and Alicia Keys.
You know what? At the party today, people said that's a great song to put on your list.
It's an
And
anthem.
I said,
It's not even just a good hit anymore. Like, they play this at Yankee Stadium. They play it at,
Oh,
if
yeah.
there's a big event at MetLife. I mean, it's transcended music at this point. And I love the regular Alicia Keys version as well.
I was just going to ask you that.
Such a great
I didn't know
version.
that there was one without.
Yeah, she does it just acoustic on the piano.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a good song. It's a catchy song. And you know what? On my number 5, I'm in the same vein as you here. I have a song that could be played now, is part of the song, but it's sampled, and the song it's sampled from is a good standalone song too here. So if we're talking the last 20 some odd years in the 2000s, I picked 2000s Eminem Stan. Okay.
Okay.
It's sampled from the Dido song Thank You. It wasn't a top 10 hit, okay, but I think it's a song that everybody really knows with Eminem. I think the other song I
Yes.
could have gone with was that Mom Spaghetti song.
Oh, from 8 Mile.
8 Mile.
Yeah. Let's
Those
talk
are
about that one later, Jeff.
I
But-
think. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. So I'm going to leave it there because I have a feeling Eminem may reappear on this list.
Yeah, something tells me.
Jeffrey.
I think so. That's the intuitiveness that
Yeah.
a pro like me has in doing this. I can
Something-
tell what
You got that
the other people on the
intuition.
show are doing and feeling.
I think that I think you got a point about that song being important because if I'm not mistaken, the young people today, when they call people stans, like fans of something or somebody, pretty sure that the origins of that come from this song.
Yeah,
100%.
stalker.
And that's
So-
why I chose this over
So we have
Lose
to talk
Yourself.
about that. Yeah. So it's one of those. It changed pop culture in such a way that maybe potentially there are young people saying "Stan" that don't even know the song.
Right.
But
because
but
it
it's a
happens so-
good song. And the
It is a
the
good
Dido
song,
song is good, but I think
Yeah.
the version with Eminem is just so far much more superior. He's such a
Yeah.
great rapper.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that.
Anthony, who's your number 5?
All right, I got a couple that I don't think you're gonna.
It can't be.
necessarily
Listen,
love.
you already threw wet leg out there.
All
I
right,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
how we can go any further down.
All right, I'm going with Cheek Face The song is "Listen to Your Heart." No, from their 2021 album, emphatically no.
Correct. No, exactly.
White cheek face.
This is another one of these new bands, new songs that I just stumbled on it. Like, I don't know, it came up on a
But in
Apple
the
Music
last 20 years, you
thing.
think this is going to be?
Well, this is when I heard it. I think part of why I like this
Anthony.
personally.
Go ahead. I want to hear this.
I think why I personally connected with it was because they they're sort of doing what I've been trying to do with music. They took the kind of like what's happening in the world. They got this kind of sarcastic, dry humor, social commentary take on what it's like to be alive now. And they've got this kind of post-punk, art rock kind of sound. And he's doing like the talk singing lyrics and stuff. And I heard it, and I'm like, I can't believe there are not more bands doing this, because this is the kind of band I would like to be in. It's sort of like the kind of music I've been trying to make.
A band that nobody listens to. That's
yes.
Listen,
apparently,
Sean, I got to defend Anthony with some of this stuff, okay? Because, and this is where I think Anthony kind of like misses the boat on his own career. He needs to write more songs and put more stuff out there, because Anthony did one of the things I thought was like one of the fucking best things I've seen in the millennium was he reimagined. I hate the term reimagine, okay, but he reimagined the Sopranos theme song, and it was a classic. He incorporated in a song. How many lyrics do you know? How many songs have the lyric? He eats gabagool and he's in the Italian mafia. And you specified Italian mafia.
Two. There's one by Dean Martin, and there's one.
He says gabagool.
No,
there's no song. But Anthony, he put all these elements together in a TV theme song. It's the greatest thing. It's on YouTube. People, you got to download. You got to go search it out and like it.
Yeah, I was
going to give him credit for something later on, but since you mentioned it too, Anthony wrote a song that earwormed me for, I swear to God, a good 2 months.
Whoa!
And I would walk around my house singing "Ellen DeGeneres Gave Me COVID-19." I sang that fucking song like to the point where I was singing it at work. I was at shows. I was singing it. And I'm like, this motherfucker. It's like a 32-second song, and I could not get it out of my brain for like a good 3 months.
I haven't thought about that one since that album came out. That's a bonus track on my
the bonus track,
social distancing butterfly album. Only on Bandcamp. Bandcamp exclusive.
This is all classic stuff. So we are into the final four here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll go with my four. I'm going to go 2003's "Bring Me to Life" by Evanescence.
I knew you were putting this on the list. I knew.
Well, listen, anytime we're talking female singers or anytime I can kind of like shoehorn Evanescence into something, I do. I think Amy Lee is easily one of the best vocalists of the last 20 some odd years. But here's the funny thing: she wrote this song when she was only 19 years old, and which I think is, oh my God, like when I was 19 years old, I'm still trying to figure out shit, and she's putting her feelings into like just an absolutely beautiful, amazing rock song. She had already been through an abusive relationship. She was feeling desensitized, and that's what the whole thing "Bring Me to Life" is about. It's done with the group 12 Stones, and
with the guy,
and the band, Evanescence, especially Amy, didn't want to do this as a duet. And it was really the record company that kind of pushed for them to do this together. And listen, it was the right call because it is really great. You've seen it in movies like Daredevil. Sean's a big wrestling fan. It was part of the WWE for a little while. And Anthony, it won a Grammy for best hard rock performance. So I think I'm justifying my pick here. Number 4, "Bring Me to Life," Evanescence.
Wow.
My number 4, also a Grammy winner, Anthony, just so you know, we're going to stick with this. I think another one who's going to be around a very, very long time. I went with "Rolling in the Deep" by Adele.
Oh, you fucking bitch.
Why?
Was that his top? His number 3?
That's my number 3. Okay,
Wow.
go ahead.
It's all right. Listen, Jeff, you should not call me a bitch. You should actually say, wow, Sean, this is amazing. This is like episode 130.
No, here's the reason why.
Almost 3 years later, and we're actually agreeing on most of this episode.
No, but here's the reason why, Sean and Anthony. I thought like I was going to put this on here, and both of you guys would go, oh, Jeff, Hard Rock Jeff. He went with an Adele song. I didn't see that coming, and now you just blew my thunder out of the water. If thunder was in the water.
No,
guy who gives bad examples.
And just
well,
say,
you know what?
Hey, you know what? Maybe I've been hanging around with my pal Sean for a long time, and maybe he's teaching me that there's more things in life than Iron Maiden. There's more things in life than Dio. There's more things in life than Black Sabbath. Maybe Sean is right.
Oh, they're really?
Not really, but
not Dio.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm on such a Dio run these days.
Come on, it's such a. I saw the pictures, by the way, very nice. It's such a great song, and I almost let me tell you almost got lucky because I had "Hello" on here instead by Adele, because that was one of the big, went out of the gate, that was a monster. I mean, there's very few songs that were as big as that, but I think this was a better song personally, so that's why I put "Rolling in the Deep" on.
You know what my connection to this? Go ahead, Anthony.
I was just gonna say I have a thing against Adele because she is one of the huge
She's
artists.
Fat? Is that what it is, Anthony? You hate fat people? Now she's skinny. What do you hate?
No. She's one of the huge artists that have jumped the line in the vinyl production. She cut in front of a lot of indie artists who had to wait extra long because artists like Adele had their vinyls made first.
Well, because people are going to buy it.
Well, yeah, but it's like some indie band is like, they put in the order and then it's somewhere in production, and then here comes Adele, skips to the front of the line.
Yeah, well, when Cheek Face,
sucks.
okay,
yeah,
when they sell their 500
Cheek Face
copies,
is one of the bands that was affected.
Good.
Yeah, sorry, Chunky Butt didn't sell their 32 vinyls.
Yeah.
Oh, Chunky! I'm gonna write that down.
Adele's breaking records and selling 500 million records.
Chunky Butt.
Yeah, let's see. Scritti Politti is having a comeback record. Maybe we can mass produce, 3 million of those, and they'll be about
bad comeback.
But okay. I mean, sure, I see what you're from a business perspective. Fine. That's what,
remember, I'm a suit, Anthony. I'm a suit.
You're a suit. But as an artist, doesn't that bother you in the slightest? That big artists can come in
because you know the business. It's called show business.
It's not show friends, Anthony. Oh
but
my God!
Big artists don't.
Me and you are agreeing and ganging up on a guest.
Here's the thing.
Weird. This is
the big
weird.
artists
because
don't.
This is what Anthony does. There's a reason why. When I thought about this episode, the first person I called was Anthony Kapfer. I was like, I have to have him on.
We should do this again next week with Chrissy Mayer back on. And just do all different songs.
I'm still decompressing from her episode, and that was like 2 years ago.
Big artists don't need the vinyl sales to make a living. They make money from their tours and things like that. Small artists, they don't make money anywhere except they have a couple of pieces of merch they can sell at their small shows, and vinyl is one of the things that helps small artists be able to make a living. And
I understand where you're coming from.
But this isn't a charity.
No, Jeff, I understand, because let me explain something. This is where me and you differ. See, Anthony has talent, right? And I have talent. So I understand the fact of where he's coming from with this, because I was also a musician too, back in the day. But if I am just, say, the lead singer of Godsmack, and Filthy Animal or whatever the fuck their name is, right, comes along and they want to sell fucking 10 records, I'm gonna say, hey, you know what? No, because I got a boat and I got 6 more payments on this boat. And, let's put out my vinyl, and because the sheep will buy everything. And that's what it comes down to. But I will give Anthony credit on one thing. The vinyl resurgence, and I have said this a million times, the vinyl resurgence is 1,000% because of the indie artists starting that. The hipsters completely did 2 things. They brought back good coffee and they brought back vinyl. And that's basically it. But the vinyl resurgence now, Ugh, yeah. But the vinyl resurgence really is gigantic. It's selling more than CDs now. I mean, that's clear as day. You can go into any Target or Walmart now and buy.
It'll change. It'll change.
It'll change.
These
Everything
things
changes.
are all cyclical.
The only thing that doesn't change is that Wet Legs Go is going to suck.
Cheeky monkey, whatever that. Anthony, what are your number 4 and 3 songs?
4. Okay. My number 4 is a band called Parquet Courts. The song is called Master of My Craft.
He has made me listen to this. We have gone fucking through.
You don't like it? I know Adam likes this.
This is right now. Adam has got a semi-chub going on.
Oh, that's why his camera's off now. That's why his camera's off. He's fucking whacking off to Anthony's list the whole time.
He's sitting there going, Jeff and Sean are 2 fucking assholes. I'm gonna go back and just do with Anthony.
Anthony's cool. He's underground. He's on Indiegogo. Yeah,
that's right. If more than 15 people listen to a band or an album, Adam wants nothing to do with it. And it has to be depressing too. And for Adam to say, hey, that's really good.
He's gonna cry into his craft beer.
With grapefruit.
It's pretty good.
It's very poppy.
And then all right, so and then my this is my number 3, I guess.
Yes.
This one I think people probably know. I went with Queens of the Stone Age, Little Sister from 2005.
That's a great
Lullabies
song.
to Paralyze.
Love that song.
Yeah, I didn't notice about the song. A couple things. This was recorded live in the studio in one take, which I didn't know before. And apparently there was an earlier version of the song that was recorded with Dave Grohl for Songs for the Deaf, but it was scrapped for some reason, which I didn't know about it. But it ended up on the next album.
So my number 3 is, I'm going to go be real quick with this, was what Sean's number 4 is also Rolling in the Deep by Adele, 2011. Huge crossover hit. I think this is the song that really elevated Adele to superstardom. 65 weeks in the top 10. It's bluesy. But know what my connection to this song is, Sean? This is what I'll always associate with this. I was at a show and there was this other comic and she really loved the song. So before, how before the show, sometimes, they're playing music. They're playing this song and this girl's really like vibing it. She's really digging it and she's snapping her fingers and she's singing, but she had this awful like liquor breath. And it just kept like going into my nostrils and living there.
I'm going with Fat Fingers now before I go to is that what they're called?
What?
That band that Anthony likes, was it Fat Fingers or
no, Cheeky Face.
Cheeky Face. Okay.
Chunky butt.
What? Okay, Sean, what's your number 3 and number 2?
One of the most influential bands of the 2000s, and anybody argues with this, they just don't know music. This is the most popular song they ever put out. It's called Hey Ya by Outkast.
Oh,
everyone kept telling me at the party also.
When did this come out? 2003?
2003, I believe. Which is, from the last 20 years, Jeff, 20 years.
Yeah, we get it. We
should have been number 1 on my list.
They put out such a brilliant record with Speaker Box and the Love album. It was a double record, and basically one album was like more of Big Boy and one album was more of Andre 3000. Yeah. What a just a fucking banger record, or from top to bottom, so I put that as number 3.
Hey Ya is it is a deep song. It is, so musically.
No, it's so different,
But I'm just saying musically, it has depth. It's a song that sticks around. It's not like, it's nothing that was kind of like frivolous, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Music.
I'm still not tired of it. As old as the song is, and as much as it got played, I'm not even close to being tired of it.
Yes.
Anthony, you should check out the Super Suckers, because you actually look like their lead singer named Eddie Spaghetti. And okay. They do a great cover of that song too.
So. Oh, okay.
My number 2 was what Jeff mentioned before. I went with Eminem as well, but I went with Lose Yourself. I think that's another one that's become an anthem. I think you're going to hear a lot of that in training montages. You're going to hear that at sports events.
It really did a lot for Mom Spaghetti.
Yeah, Mom Spaghetti
really did come back after that.
Olive Garden sales went up 56%. I just think it's a great song. And honestly, I'm not that dude who likes to listen to songs to get pumped up and stuff like that. Because I'm professional. I just go and fucking do the job.
Me too.
But if I have to,
no, I have to get pumped up.
You got to get pumped up.
Yeah. What Air Supply song do you pick?
Um, I put "Making Love Out of Nothing at All" because it
Of
was written
course
by
you
Jim
do.
Steinman.
Well,
It's a
you're
great
looking down
song.
at your pants when you say that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my number two, even though I'm not a huge fan of the band, I think the song is undeniable. 2008, "Viva La Vida" by
Mm,
Coldplay. Um,
great song.
First of all, yeah, great string section. One song of the year, Anthony, in 2009 at the Grammys.
That means
The
it's worthy.
song, yeah, "Viva La Vida" means long live life, and it's inspired. Remember the artist Frida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, by a painting of the same name. Um, I
Oh,
think
okay.
in the song, the bells and the chimes really give the song like a very grandiose sound. I think the kettle drums also, give the song a very unique sound. You talk about a song that I've heard a million times and still don't get excited to hear, and especially when the song is like a minute or two in, it's starting to roll. This is it. I think easily they're one of maybe their
It's their
biggest
biggest
song.
song by far.
Yeah, I
By
think
far.
everyone knows it. It was used as
Apple
a
commercial.
theme song of an Olympics, of a recent Olympics
Yeah,
as
and
well.
it was the
The
new
French
iPhone
one.
commercial for a while. I mean, I saw them do it live at Central Park, and I mean, you must have had 50,000 people singing the song alongside it. It
Right,
was
and especially like when that last part, when the O part.
sing it, Jeff. I don't know what part you're talking about.
Oh, right?
One
Yeah,
more
like
time.
that.
What was that?
Oh, oh. It sounds just like Chris Martin.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Anthony, number two.
All right, mine is going to be a real popular one. I went with a Queens of the Stone Age side project called Eagles of Death Metal.
Oh, I
I went with
fucking love them.
yeah, they're
Oh,
great. I picked the
Now
song
Anthony's
"I Want You
redeemed
So
himself.
Hard."
oh,
Boys
that's a
Bad
great
News.
song. God damn it. It's
What
not
is the
number
song called again?
I Want You So Hard, in
Hmm.
parentheses, Boys Bad News from Death by Sexy, 2006.
they are such a brilliant band, man. But
So
there's
great.
no way they don't belong on the top 2,000 songs of the last 20 years. But I'm happy that you put it on though.
It's like the ultimate party band.
Yeah, they're great.
All right. So we are now down to our number ones.
Yes.
I'll go number one, and we're going to save Anthony for last because I'm sure this is going to be a good one. But for me, the number one song of the 2000s, you can't go to a stadium without hearing it. Seven Nation Army, White
Ah,
Great
Stripes.
song.
I was
Great song.
wondering where that was
Yeah,
where that was
catchy, iconic riff, simple drum beat. I would say that song revived rock in the early 2000s. 2003 Grammy for Best Rock Song. And again, can you go to a sporting event, okay, whatever the event is, without hearing that song? It crosses over.
Yeah,
Great song.
100%. That's a solid number one pick. I
Oh,
will,
yeah.
I will give you that.
And the album's great. Whole
Yeah.
album.
Oh my God, it's
all the way
yeah.
through.
I went a different route with my number one. I think this is I truly feel this is the biggest song of the last 20 years. I went with Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars.
Oh, how
That's
do we
another
leave
version.
Bruno Mars off this list to this point?
And no one had Bruno Mars.
Because he was number
No.
one.
No one had Bruno Mars. So this is another song that is a huge thing. It's also played all the time at a wedding, at a birthday, party, at a
100%.
graduation.
Who would you say that was inspired by?
I don't know. That's a hard.
Oh, Michael Jackson. That's an
I
easy.
don't know. That's a Michael Jackson. I see
James
more of
Brown.
a 70s song, to be honest. But yeah, dude. I mean, when I heard it the first time, that's a jaw dropper. That's a real jaw dropper. And I'm like, what is going on with music? You know what I mean? Like, this was just, I hadn't heard anything like this in 20 years, and it's still one of those songs that stays on my phone all the time.
It's easily a great one. That's a good. I can't believe we left Bruno Mars off until that. Listen, we give our guest of honor. He will give us the last song, the best song of the 2000s. Please, Anthony. Please.
All right.
On a positive note here.
I'm taking it back to 2005. One of the first viral hits that I remember in the very early days of YouTube.
Don't tell me
I-
it's the fucking treadmill.
Leave it.
I went with the treadmill song. Okay, go. Here it goes again.
That's it.
61 million views. It's a great song. It's a great video. It took them 17 takes to get that music video.
The treadmill song.
The treadmill song. You
Watch
ever
the
listen to it
video,
without the
Jeff.
treadmills?
Watch the video. Okay, now here's what I want you to do. Jeff, now I'm not going to make fun of you anymore for the rest of the episode. Now you're completely bad.
Yeah, the episode's over.
Yes, but I can still go. Yeah, it's a video where there's like 4 treadmills and like they're walking
8 treadmills.
on. 8. I'm sorry.
Oh, I've seen that.
That would have been artistically fucking horrible of me.
There's 4 guys, 8 treadmills.
Yeah, I remember.
17 takes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
I
my
remember.
number
I remember
one.
that was a thing for a week.
that's my number 1.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh my God. Okay, listen. This was an episode.
It happened.
It happened.
I can't fucking believe that I agreed with Jeff most of this fucking episode. This
We
is
learned-
the first.
We learned a lot of things on this episode today. We reconfirmed a lot of things on this episode today.
Yeah.
People who listen to Dustin Vinyl and are listening to this show, yeah, they get the whole. Now they understand why me and Anthony could never do a road trip together. Okay, we could do shows together. We could hang out and have a beer and maybe talk about, but we'll never agree on music.
You don't want to hear like Moist Hand?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one too. Moist Hands. Okay.
No, but you get Adam and Anthony in a car. Those two fucking nitwits are driving them to Australia together and just
Oh,
listen.
yeah.
Right, just like having a great time. The two of them.
Kindred
That
spirits.
miserable music.
Kindred spirits, both of them.
Listen,
Okay, we got good
Anthony,
taste.
in all kidding aside, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes,
This was
thanks for having
so
me.
much fun. This hour
Yeah.
went by so fast.
It did. Too fast, I say.
Yeah. I miss seeing you on Wednesdays, and I'm so glad we had you on here today. Do me a favor, just tell people where they can find you and let them know what you're up to right now.
Yeah, okay. You can find me on all social media at Anthony Kapfer, Kapfer. I'm doing some stuff. I'm releasing music under my name. I have another music project. It's all kind of comedy music. I release music as Buzz Killjoy, so you could stream if you stream.
Yeah, much
stream
like your
the
whole
stuff.
list.
Yeah, it sounds like if you like Chunky Butt and you like the moist hands, you're gonna love Buzz Killjoy, Anthony Kapfer, and I'm starting a new project. It's gonna be called Bald Wig, and wig is spelled with an H.
Of course,
so-
like the Whig Party in
yeah.
right in the 17
So
and 1800s.
I'm
Very
excited
good.
about it because it's the first music. I'm not worried about making the songs funny, and I haven't done that in a very long time, 10 years probably.
Going out of your wheelhouse. I dig that.
Yeah,
And you know what?
so these are just
And Anthony is a
songs.
very talented musician, whether
He
it
is.
be playing guitar or playing the drums.
I would
you know,
hang
he's
with
good.
him. I would have a beer with him. I would go record shopping with him, but I would handcuff him, shoot my wrists, and take him to the real music. Is what I would do.
I know it, and then he has the nerve. He has the nerve to get all over me about going to see John Mellencamp and Journey. And then a couple of weeks ago, I went to go see the Eagles, and I filmed some of it and I sent it to him.
Now, Anthony, you want me to ask you how old you are?
I'm 39.
Okay,
Oof,
you
can't
you
believe
all right? Well, yeah, you're part of that fucking generation. Okay, so I tend to feel that anybody under 46 is a slightly mentally challenged because I think that I think that my generation is the last good generation because I'm 47.
Okay.
So I tend to, even though I'm closer to your age than I am to Jeffrey's, I am
Yeah, I'm in my early 80s.
well, like Biden, but anyway, I am siding with Jeffrey 1000%. You can screen cap that if you want. You can isolate that track. It's never going to happen again. I completely sided with Jeffrey on this episode because your music sucks.
And on that note, We will see everybody next week. And Anthony, again, thank you so much for coming and doing the show. We really do appreciate you.
Thank you.
It was a
buddy.
lot of fun.
Guys, follow Anthony Kapfer, man.
Yes,
Very,
please.
very funny
and
guy.
listen to Ellen DeGeneres gave me COVID-19, then you'll understand why I sang it for fucking 3 months.
That's right. Funny shit. All right, guys. We'll catch you next week. Take care,
Later,
everybody.
guys.
So long.